So guys, here it is, very quick, doing its job of sticking this thing. I heard from one of my security guards, in fact, that this is the best way to stick these indicators, and they tend to hold on because it's rubber on rubber. And that's what I'm trying to do here, trying to get this to hold with the help of Fevikwik. I think I need to hold it for some time. This is one of the complaints I have with Bajaj Avengers. In CBZ Extreme, these indicators were integrated into the headlight panel, and they would never do this. In fact, even the tail light was integrated, so I didn't have to worry about this at all. Bajaj, do something about this. Bad news, guys. It did not hold. It's actually leaving it. The thing is that I have done the same thing to this rear one. You can see there. This one is holding on. The front one is just not agreeing to hold on. Bajaj Avenger. Now there are many parts of it. The first thing that I was really concerned about while buying this bike was the front tire. A lot of people told me that it has a tendency to skid more because the angle of the front tire is a bit forward set. So that's one thing I was careful about. In these 2 years, I think only 2 times I have had a slip and I have realized that I've turned too much. That is probably the reason why. Otherwise, I generally am pretty comfortable with the steering and the turning now. So that is not really a big problem. Front windscreen. I love the front windscreen. I know there are people who don't like it because of the wind blast and this and that, but I think it's just perfect, especially for a family bike like I wanted it to be. If my kid is sitting ahead, then it's good that he's protected from the wind blast coming onto him directly, and sometimes even the mud, he gets protection from that as well. I do try to make him wear a helmet, which you will see in my other videos. So yes, I love the windscreen. The headlight. I used to love the headlight for the jewel that it was, and two LED lights that come on the side. Unfortunately, during the last breakdown, the LEDs got deactivated and they want to change the whole panel to just change those LED lights. I disagreed with that, so I did not do it at this point of time. So really, I think Bajaj should think something about that. Otherwise, the headlight spread is decent. No, not good for night riding and all that. If you're slow in inner lanes, it is manageable, but on the highway, it is definitely not manageable because when you're on the beam, the spread is too wide and it's not so sharp. So you can't really see things that clearly. But on a low beam, it is decent. So when you're, crawling through something, it's pretty fine. Indicators. I'm not a fan of the indicators. I used to love my CBZ Extreme for the fact that the indicators were not hanging out. CBZ Extreme used to have an indicated indicator, and with Bajaj Avenger, it's the obvious that happens that the front and the back indicators tend to hang, which is really horrible, and they tend to break very easily. It's really something, it's like something that gives the company a regular income. I really don't like that concept. Bikes should be more trouble free rather than having these nuggets that cause problem to it. If you can have indicators, why not have them? The engine. I think it's a pretty good engine, and the pickup and everything is really comfortable, and it's not a racer's bike, but at times if you are riding a bit spiritedly, you will still have good fun with it. um, I think what also works well is I use power fuel most of the time. 90% of the time I refill with power. um, so the engine works pretty smooth. Whenever I've used regular fuel, I do feel the engine runs a bit coarse at times. You feel that roughness in the running. I don't know, maybe it's just something that I feel. I might be wrong, but there's definitely a difference in the engine when I use uh, the power fuel instead of the normal fuel. With the servicing, again, Bajaj, now with the lockdown and everything, I had some problems. Otherwise, Bajaj was pretty fine where servicing was concerned, and decent. I wouldn't say great, but decent. Hero has given me a better experience, of course, because I was there for 13 years. I knew Hero people very well. Here, I'm still getting to know people. Let's see how that goes. Fuel tank. The fuel tank capacity is pretty good for me, at least. I don't do a lot of long rides within the city. It totally suffices the requirement. Yes, just a word of caution that if you are topping it up, avoid parking it on the side stand. There are times when it has leaked a bit, so it's better when you're doing a full tank and really up to the brim. Then you should keep it on the main stand, not the side stand. And if you want to keep it on the side stand, then there is a point where they fill the fuel and they stop automatically. That's where you should stop instead of allowing him to fill right up to the brim. So that's probably one thing that you need to be careful about. Seats. I love the seats. At least for the front rider, it is amazing, very comfortable. The sitting posture is really relaxed, and with the seats, let me also include the handlebars. Really comfortable. I really sit like a king, I would say, with my hands spread wide. I also use the foot position to the edge, and I spread my legs around a bit. So it's really an amazing sitting position. It's like sitting on a sofa for sure. The only thing that is the backrest. Probably there should be a backrest for the front rider as well. I don't do that because sometimes my kid sits behind and they occupy more seat space and I occupy less. So not having the backrest for the front rider gives that flexibility of having the kid in between behind. That's the reason why there should be some flexibility in the middle seat backrest if you want to put any. For the pillion, however, the back seat is not that comfortable. It sits right above the tire, whereas where the rider sits, it's between the two tires exactly, so the rider does not feel the bumps. But the rear passenger, the pillion, feels the bumps directly because they sit right above the rear tire. So that is a bit of a hassle for the rear seat passenger. So, but yes, the good point is that the backrest, which is really amazing and comfortable. So yeah, that is really good that it has a backrest like that. Problems. The two major problems that I have had so far. One is the battery rectifier, which spoiled and it left me stranded in Malad, which was around 20-30 kilometers away from my house, and that was really bad. And they had to replace it. It was more than a year. It was not in warranty, and they said it should not happen soon. But they could not give a time frame when it will happen again. So that is something really bad. That it has something that is totally unreliable. So I'm really unhappy with that. Where the other problem is the chain. I think while servicing, when I go to a Hero service center, I felt they were servicing the chain better. I never had to clean the chain or wash it because they were doing the servicing that well. Yes, I would service every 3 months and they would give me the bike in spick and span condition. With Bajaj, the chain thing is, it's a bit of a hassle. You have to have your own cleaner and oiling. I did never did that with my CBZ Extreme. So yes, that is becoming a bit of a hassle, and the chain is becoming too sloppy. It's lagging. The hanging thing is a bit more, which was there in Hero as well a little bit, but the Hero chain was away from the rest of the body parts. But the Bajaj has the body parts close to the chain, so it tends to make more noise than it used to do on the Hero. So the chain thing is another concern. Yes, if you are taking a new Bajaj Avenger, please take care of the chain. You have to oil it and lube it yourself. My service center, I'm not so happy with the chain oiling part. The chain was not cleaned properly before it was oiled, so it wasn't that great an experience. To conclude, I would say yes, it is a great cruiser bike. It is good for long rides and within the city as well. It's absolutely doable, and it is for someone who's not really into racing. If you want a comfortable and a cruising ride, then it's absolutely fine. If you want to carry some luggage on it, you probably need a tank bag or something which is more comfortable, or side boxes you could put that. That would be the things that you could probably do if you want to increase the luggage on that. Otherwise, I feel it's an amazing bike as a family bike, as a cruiser bike, as a city bike, and as a touring bike on good or decent roads. Not good for the bad roads because of the structure that it has. You may develop more problems if you take it off road and all that. Although there are people who will vouch against it and say that it can do off road as well a bit. But I would avoid doing off road on this bike because the paths do tend to feel a bit jittery after a lot of off road. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I feel about it. So, yes, if you want a city bike, a family bike, and cruiser bike, you can definitely go for the cruise option. I'm not a fan of the street. A, because it does not have a backrest, B, it does not have the front shield, and I know it has alloys which probably is better than the chrome to maintain, but the chrome is done pretty fine. The chrome has not troubled me so far, so I don't have complaints against the chrome, and so I'm pretty fine with this bike. I think it's a nice bike. So yes, if you want for cruising and family, good one. If you want for racing and all that, not good for you. And if you have a lot of bad roads around you, then don't go for it. That's what I would say about the Bajaj Avenger. Hope you like this video, and please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you like it. Take care.